This is the WYDE Weekly for July 25th, 2026. The number we exist to move finally moved the right way. The UN says global hunger fell for a third straight year to 645 million, and a record 55,362 U.S. schools now serve free meals to every student. The same week, the referees showed up. Lawmakers moved to give DHS a kill switch on rogue AI. A judge approved Anthropic's $1.5 billion copyright settlement. The House passed a stock trading ban on its own members, and a watchdog found up to $521 billion in yearly federal fraud with no plan to protect Snap. Proof is the whole reason we exist, and this was a week of it. First, the build. The Eat Card app is live on the Apple App Store. It is a Visa debit card, FDIC insured through a regulated bank partner, with no crypto knowledge required, and every swipe funds meals through our Feed the Children partnership. The docs live at the WYDE Hub. Our creator program pays on verified results, and if you want the longer version of the mission, our co-founders laid it out on the Crypto Altruists podcast. Now to the news, starting with hunger relief and food security. The UN's new State of Food Security report puts global hunger at 645 million people, down nearly 14 million from 2024 and falling for a third year running. It is the rare piece of good news on the beat we were built around. And the UN is blunt that the progress is fragile while 2.7 billion people still cannot afford a healthy diet and aid budgets shrink. Alongside it, a new count from the Food Research and Action Center finds a record 55,362 schools used community eligibility to feed every student free last year, reaching millions more kids at no charge. The timing is the story, because it is happening right as SNAP cuts threaten the same household budgets those families lean on. A couple more from the food beat. A New Jersey food bank that ran out of food was restocked in hours after a single social media plea. Community moved faster than the supply chain. And Taylor Farms recalled iceberg lettuce in 27 states over a cyclospora risk, a reminder that food safety is its own kind of food security. Next, philanthropy and charitable giving. T. Denny Sanford, who gave away more than $4 billion, died at 90. He turned a First Premier Bank fortune into more than $4 billion in lifetime giving, including roughly $2 billion to the health system that now bears his name. He built his life around one rule: die broke, and he very nearly did. Georgia Tech raised a record $415 million in a single year and pushed its campaign past $2 billion. The public university hit the mark 18 months early, powered by a $100 million bequest. 3 more gifts worth noting. Jensen and Lori Huang gave Vanderbilt $75 million to build a new arts and design college in San Francisco, the NVIDIA founder's largest university gift so far. John and Ann Tickle gave Ballad Health $25 million, the largest gift in the system's history and the biggest single check Appalachian Healthcare has seen. And Give 716 raised a record $1.8 million for more than 600 Western New York charities, as Buffalo's Giving Day keeps climbing. Now to institutional crypto and the money rails. Abu Dhabi's Mubadala Capital, tied to a sovereign manager with roughly $430 billion in assets, put a private markets fund on-chain through Kayo, and Coinbase took balance sheet exposure to it. When a sovereign fund tokenizes real assets and a public crypto company holds them as treasury, tokenization stops being a pitch deck. Augustus raised $180 million to build a stablecoin clearing bank at a $1 billion valuation. The settlement plumbing under stablecoins is now a venture category of its own. A few more from the rails. Amazon Japan's delivery partner, AZCom Maruwa, will pay 2,300 drivers in the yen stablecoin JPYC, bringing corporate stablecoin payroll to real scale. The Bank of Korea will run live central bank digital currency transactions with 9 major banks in September, moving a top 10 economy's digital currency from lab to launch. Kalshi and Polymarket reached 27% of U.S. sports betting on record World Cup trading, a real threat now to the sportsbooks. Uniswap and Spark launched Dual Pool, a hook that pays yield on idle liquidity, so capital that used to sit still now earns while it waits. And the Genius Act's 1-year stablecoin rule deadline passed with no final rules. A year after the law, the rulebook is still blank. On to AI, the courts, and the new rules. A federal judge signed off on Anthropic's $1.5 billion settlement with authors, the largest known copyright payout in U.S. history, at roughly $3,000 per work. The line it draws matters for everyone building with AI. Training on legally acquired books is fair use. Pirating them to do it is not. Lawmakers introduced the AI Kill Switch Act to let DHS shut down rogue AI models. The bipartisan bill would give the government throttle and shutdown authority over frontier systems, with penalties up to $20 million a day. More from the AI docket. House lawmakers introduced the Frontier Act to put federal oversight on advanced AI, a second bipartisan bill the same week, this one on model cards, audits, and incident reporting. The White House accused Moonshot of distilling Anthropic's fable as Treasury weighs sanctions, moving the U.S. and China AI fight from chips to intellectual property. The University of Tennessee sued Anthropic in the first patent case over Claude, over neuromorphic patents this time, not copyright. And 29 countries signed the World AI Cooperation Organization Pact as Xi opened the World AI Conference in Shanghai, giving a rival framework for governing AI its shape. Then, fraud and accountability. The SEC agreed to pay $150,000 and hand over its remaining Ethereum records to settle a Freedom of Information Act suit tied to former chair Gary Gensler's deleted texts, after an inspector general found messages wiped from 21 official phones. The agency that spent years demanding transparency from crypto just paid to close a transparency case of its own. A GAO report found up to $521 billion in yearly federal fraud and no risk plan for Snap. Only 5 of 20 major programs even document their fraud risk, and the food aid programs we watch most closely are not among them. More receipts. The House passed the Stop Insider Trading Act to bar members of Congress from buying individual stocks, so the people writing the rules would finally have to follow them. The U.S. seized more than $25 million in crypto tied to romance and investment scams. Follow the chain, freeze the wallet, return the money. And feeding our future fraud reached its 70th conviction as losses topped $250 million. The largest pandemic food aid fraud in the country keeps ending in guilty verdicts. And finally, health and frontier tech. Science Corporation's Prima implant helped 84% of a 38-patient trial read letters, numbers, and words again after age-related vision loss, and it just earned a CE mark in Europe. A chip the size of a grain of rice is giving sight back. 2 more from the frontier. The FDA authorized Johnson & Johnson's Ottava, a table-integrated surgical robot, taking aim at the Da Vinci's long lead with a smaller footprint. And Augmental launched MouthPad, a tongue-controlled touchpad, to the U.S. public, hands-free computing built for the people who need it most. Now eat by the numbers. Meals funded, over 60,000, against the next milestone of 100,000. That is the number we actually measure, and it only moves one direction. EAT sat near a fraction of a cent, with a market cap around $2.1 million. Roughly $680,600 in liquidity, and about 1,200 holders, all as of July 10th, according to Gecko Terminal. Every trade and every swipe routes 25% of the fee to hunger relief, and every dollar that reaches that bucket creates 5 meals through our Feed the Children partnership. These figures carry forward from the July 18th edition. No fresher numbers came in with this week's trigger. To join us, the Eat Card app is on the App Store, and the beta list is open ahead of the public launch. If you create, our creator program pays on verified results, not follower count. And if you run a business, the cause card extends to business spend too. Hunger fell for a 3rd year, and the same week the referees showed up for the money and the machines. We came to prove that giving can be watched all the way to the ground, and this was a week that rewarded proof. Worth watching. Onward, the WYDE team.